In fact, the WHO Copenhagen group, European Region group, have produced a very useful report that goes a bit further into the issues of obesity and inequities. And I do recommend anyone who wants to follow this through to have a look at that document. And one of the things it raises, actually, is about the differential impacts that interventions can have. So I just want to spend a couple of minutes, still got plenty of time, a couple of minutes looking at social gradients and the natures of interventions. So if we sort of stylize the social gradient as just being that blue line, I've shown Harry's graph just to sort of remind us about what the gradient looks like. If we take a blue line as that's the gradient and ask, well, supposing we intervene with a sort of social marketing or promotion of people should go out to the gyms more, something like that. These are going to be things that, by and large, I think will be taken up more by families, by people who have the resources to take them up. And they're going to be the least deprived families. So the impact of something like an intervention like that, social marketing, gym membership, these sort of things, might well be to increase the gradient, to make the gradient steeper. So it goes down there on the left for the least deprived families, but hardly changes for the rest of the community. So that actually makes an increase in the gradient. If we think about targeting low-income neighborhoods or families or children in schools, only targeting those, then of course you get almost the reverse effect. You get a decrease in their obesity levels, but hardly any change in the rest of the community's social gradient. So again, have we really done what we want to do? And alternative approaches, if we just take this as a stylized model, there's the more sort of perfect universal approach where everyone benefits equally, everyone improves their health equally, but you might say the gradient is still there, hardly changed. It's just a bit, everyone's a bit better, and that's good. And then perhaps nearer to the ideal is what's been coined the phrase universal proportionality. And this is a benefit to all with additional benefits to those who might need it most. So this is proportional to the need. And this has really come out of some work by Sir Michael Marmot and his group, who've been doing a lot of work on social determinants of health and trying to think how gradients can be affected and the sorts of models and the terminology we need to use to develop our policies. I hope you're all with me still. Okay, just to take an example then about how we might use this approach, if we take something like TV advertising, restricting TV advertising for junk food, we know it's distributed on a social gradient, that higher income families tend to, or children in higher income families, tend to watch less TV than those in low income families. So we have that evidence already. And we could sort of construct a list, if you like, about, well, the exposure to advertising is greatest for lower socioeconomic groups. The intervention would apply across all of them, and its implementation should be fairly equal in each household, except, of course, there's the cross-border stuff coming in that we can't do anything about, that Barry mentioned. But the impact, therefore, should be greatest for those who need it most, because they've been watching most television, so if you cut it out of television, the impact should be greatest for them. So there is, therefore, a sort of a priori reason for assuming there is some proportional universality to this sort of intervention. You could argue that taxation of soft drinks might also have be proportional, because low-income families tend to drink more soft drinks. I don't know, but I'm suggesting. And if Barry shows that they don't switch to water if they're only in the high-income groups, then we might expect a sort of universal proportionality here, that low-income groups will switch to water more because they've been drinking soft drinks more, and the price will affect perhaps their pockets more, so they're more likely to switch. So that could be a proportionally good approach. An alternative one, like sort of giving kids education lessons in schools about eating more fruits and veg, might not work so well. It might be applied across all schools, and indeed the exposure need might be greatest, so children in low-income families might be eating less fruit and veg and should therefore be encouraged to eat more. But the take-up is likely to be more in the high-income families, so you won't necessarily get the impact that you want and the change of gradient that you want. I'll just say a few more words about TV advertising, because that's an issue that has come up and needs to be explored explored a bit more. Several countries have introduced different types of controls. I won't go into the details there, but I can send this to you. Barry is quite right. What tends to happen is that countries introduce controls around children's TV programs, but children are watching a whole load of other television, daytime television, family time television, and in some cases, although the advertising goes down during children's TV, it actually goes up during family TV, and we've had that in the UK. There was an Ofcom report, that's our Office of Communications, reporting on this. Interestingly, while it acknowledged that lower-income households do watch more television, they didn't do the crucial evaluation about whether the impact of their regulations were more effective in lower or higher-income households. We don't know. We haven't got the evidence there.